Okay, so let's swatch them out. So I picked out 5 most used Derwent pencils for the months of February. So let's start with the lightest one. So I've got light Sienna. I do like pressing on my pencils, so I like to see the most color I can get. If I want any lighter, I sort of can imagine what it's going to look like, but I think it's sometimes the pencils that don't take you to that intensity. So if you swatch them lightly, personally for me, I'm not getting enough information out of that. Mars Orange. They're just stunning pencils. Terracotta. So there's a video coming out which I don't want to spoil it for you, so you have to wait. And I will explain how I use and demo how I use these 3 colors together. And then we have yellow ochre, which is also super pretty, very kind of warm and buttery color. And I guess Naples yellow probably would be the equivalent in a watercolor. Sanguine, another gorgeous color that works really well with this color palette. It's got a bit more red in there. There we go. Okay, so those are 5. And then Derwent Lightfast Cinnamon. I definitely have enjoyed using cinnamon. Then we have Golden Sun. That's one of the new colors that have been added, and this is a very unique color. If you have tried that Mars Orange in a Cinelia stick, and if you remember how I was saying it sort of has this depth to it, it's not just a one color, like for instance this one or any of those, just a one basic kind of color. When I say basic, I mean just sort of flat color. This one has a breakdown and it's just so gorgeous. I'll give you a little close-up later. Then we have Magenta. Surprisingly, I quite enjoyed this magenta. It's not a magenta that I am sort of used to calling a magenta. This is more of a kind of like a burgundy mixed in there, so it's very deep. And then we have Bordeaux, which is just a darker version of this, I'd say. A much darker, much deeper. And then finally we have Peridot Blue, which is gorgeous, to add a bit of pop of a color. Alright, so there you go. That's the color palette for these pencils. And then we have watercolors. Now, in terms of the watercolors, I will swatch these 4. So this is the dish from the previous haul. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm just going to try and squeeze out as much as I will use and just make really sort of intense swatches. So that was Sodalite Genuine, and then here we have the Sodalite Genuine and Indigo by Cinelia. So maybe I'll start with the Indigo here, just to give you a comparison point. So that's the Indigo that's kind of pigment based. I'm just going to drop in a little bit more because we lost our intensity here. And I'll try to lift a bit just on the end. Like that. And then the indigo, that is Cinelia indigo, is quite different, as you can see. It's got more warmth to it. So that's that. Then let's go into the Sodalite Genuine. Now this is a color that granulates super heavy. It's like a bluish grey tone. You can play around with it a bit just to get it going. And you need to wait until it dries to see the full effect. And then Peridot Genuine, so this one dries out quite quickly. And better to use out as much as you will use. I haven't tried squeezing it out into a tube yet, but this is a gorgeous color. It's also granulating. It has that quality of separating pigments, and it's got that maroon kind of undertone to it, which I love. Just going to try lift some of this color here so you can see already it's happening. The magic is happening. Okay, let's let it dry a bit. Meanwhile, I'm going to look at these different mediums here. So we've got Oil Stick, which I said was by Shiva, and it's the Peridot Blue. So the way you work these is you need to remove just a little bit of the tip of it. Okay, so I yanked mine off a bit too hard, and what happened is it came off. But basically, here is your paint. It's beautifully fresh and creamy underneath, so you can totally use like that. I'm just going to stick mine back and keep it like that. So that's the beautiful blue color I was talking about. Isn't that gorgeous? So these are all paints, so keep that in mind and make sure to leave these to dry for quite a few hours. They will be fine after that. And then what else do we have? Heavy body acrylic. So we have acrylic inks. Let's do them first. So this is the yellow ochre, and the other one is raw Sienna. They need a bit of a mix before starting because they do settle. So let's see what happens here now. So this was way too much color. So this one is really interesting. Again, similar to that quality and to the Yellow Mars Oil Stick by Cinelia. So here, I mean, you can try lifting, but not much will happen. But here it's more of a watercolor kind of quality to it, where you can see different levels of the color. And then finally we have the Acrylics Light Blue Permanent. You can see how beautiful bright it is. You can use it as it is. It's a beautiful color straight out of the tube, like so. Or you could of course mix it with a bit of white or tone it down with any other color that you wish, like a buff titanium. And here is the gold, and you get so much in this tube, it will last you a long time, so you can use as much gold as you want and not be precious with it. The beautiful gold color. Okay, so that's the color palette. I mean, it's shifting somewhat. And let me just title everything and come back. Okay, so hopefully they are mostly dry apart from one or two swatches, and I can show you the colors up close. So you can see, in terms of a color palette, there's definitely blue and yellow that's sort of speaking out to me, but also still a bunch of neutrals up here. So that's it for my February favorites, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know which colors you are gravitating towards now that the spring is coming, whether your color palette is changing or not. And I will speak to you soon. Thanks for watching.